10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2.
Yes, Tuesday night, the Competition Plus Power Hour live, yes, on Competition Plus. I'm the Monday Morning Racer, and my co-host is also here. He's not quite in the window. He's coming back right now. There he is, sliding in.
Sliding in, slamming Sam, baby.
Right.
Sliding and diving.
I know at that Drag Illustrated After Hours party, you were doing a whole lot of sliding. I know that.
Hey, Lee, we're not gonna talk about that yet unless you have the actual footage. We won't talk about that yet.
I don't have the footage. I just have the picture. We'll talk about it later, though.
Okay, no, I have some photos of people that were down at PRI actually they're talking to us, saying stuff, which is awesome to see. So I'll be uploading those pictures so we can talk about that. If you are in the comments, please let us know if you were there. We got a jam-packed show tonight. Great guest to talk about everything. Jeff Arin just actually texted me. He's in California too. And he said, with silly season, there's not really much to talk about because everything is being played out. Right. Everyone kind of starting to see.
The Insider doesn't got any more information to share from the inside because it all came out at PRI.
Pretty much, right? I mean, Lee, you had a big announcement. You and I got to talk with a couple people about things.
For everybody who didn't see it on the Texas Motorplex live stream, I will recap that. So all those answers will be put to rest. The show tonight, Paige Coughlin, we've already got her in studio. Already had a decent little chat with her. Looking forward to continuing that conversation. Then later on the night, Rodger, Brogden. And in fact, having Paige already, we're going to take a break, Sam, with an actual sponsor, new sponsor. We're going to show that commercial right now. It's great to have Weldon Pumps on board with the Competition Plus Power Hour. Folks, right after this break, we're going to have Paige Coughlin on, and we're going to talk about what? No prep and a Coughlin?
Something that we've never talked about on this show before. Like something that was like kind of not allowed to. Yeah, I like it.
Paige Coughlin, welcome to the Competition Plus Power Hour. Now, look, hang loose. Like we said earlier, this is no professional show, and we're no professional cats up in here. But we're glad to have you. And well, I want to start out. We're not going to hold no punches back. We're going to dive in it. A Coughlin attempting to go no prep racing. Like, have you been kicked out of the house yet, or what?
No, actually, it was between me and my dad. We were the ones that kind of came up with it. He posed it at first, and then I was like, you know what? Let's stick with it. Let's jump in head first into no prep. It's something completely different, and but we're embracing it. We're going full steam ahead.
I like it, Sam. I like it.
Man, like I've been watching the shows, and you've been asked these questions, and you've seen the comments. Like, I look at Troy, and I'm like, man, he's so calm. He's so cool. I'm like, okay, there's going to be something about Paige right now that no one's expecting. Like, she's going to come out and be that firecracker. Lee, you would know, referring to those old Southern days where you throw the firecracker in the mailbox or in the gutter and see what happens. But I'm honestly expecting you to go out and do some shaking it up, some trash talking. So have you been, online looking at that stuff yet?
Oh, I have for sure. When we released this, it was right before PRI, and then we went into PRI, and I worked for Drag Illustrated that weekend. And I was with a few other friends, so some bracket racers and some other people from Super Comp, and we went to some bar, and we were like, you know what? Let's call Justin Swanstrom out. And so my friend kind of came up with it. His name is Darian Bosch. he came up with it, and then he actually got it up on the whiteboard, and I just couldn't believe my eyes. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is out there. This is happening. This is the first time I'd ever done something like this, but I immediately called my dad, freaking out, like thinking this was it. I was done for. But no, he encouraged me, and he's like, no, this is awesome. Like, keep going on. Like, this is badass. And I was like, all right. So he kept going and found Justin at the bar later that night. We talked it out, and it was all fun and games, but maybe not so next year.
No, that's cool because, I mean, we all want it to happen. We want Greg Anderson to call out Erica Enders or vice versa, and it hasn't happened yet. You know, and it needs to happen. It needs to happen somewhere, some way, somehow. But we're getting that in No Prep King style and fashion. The car hasn't even hit the tarmac, and you're already calling a popular one out. That's pretty cool, and it's cool to see that and to have those friendly rivalries and be serious and be competitive in the moment. And you are no stranger to competition. I would say right now, really in the drag racing world, the bracket racing, drag racing side of it is super competitive. So talk to us about bracket racing, your background, what you've done, what you've accomplished, so we can bring everybody up to speed so that they're not shocked when you go whip tail in the No Prep King world.
Well, sure. Yeah. You know, I started racing my dragster in 2017, and we mainly started out in super comp, you know, just testing the waters a little bit, getting a feel for the car. And so as I started going through that first season, then my dad's like, hey, you know what, let's try some bracket racing. We stayed kind of local, went to Killcare, trails, just dabbled around there. And then as I got better and better and was more comfortable with the car, we started to branch out. And, you know, me and TJ, my older brother, we would go, I mean, sometimes over the East Coast, we'd go down south, and we would battle it out. And those racers are tough. I mean, they know how to kick your ass. And that's definitely happened to me quite a few times. And, you know, I know how to dish it back, but man, you learn a lot from going to those bracket races because they mean business, and that's a lot of tough racers, and sometimes they don't get enough credit for that. And, you know, that's what really taught me how to race and stand up for myself and, you know, just not being afraid to hold back. But I would say most of my accomplished stay on the super comp side. We runnered up in 2019 in the Division 3 points. And then we were the 2020 JEGS All-Stars representative for Division 3 and Super Comp as well. So other than that, we've just gone deep rounds in almost every race we've attended. And, you know, when the car was fighting us, we fought hard back, and, you know, we made do. And earlier this year is when we decided, I warmed up TJ's Pro Stock car, and I said, I lost first round that day too. And it was just rough. And I was like, that's a great way to start out the season. And after warming up that car, I said, Dad, let's just build a damn door cart. Why don't we? And he's like, about damn time. And his eyes just went wide, and you could tell he was excited. He was really excited. So that's where it all started. And it's only been up from there.
Yeah, I've got to say, until you hit top dragster, I don't know if dragsters are really that cool. It's all about the door cars. So good to hear about a door car for sure for Paige Coughlin in the future.
Yeah.
Right. Right.
Other than TJ, you know, trying out Top Alcohol Dragster and Top Fuel, I mean, I didn't know too much of the guys over at the Top Fuel pits, but the Top Alcohol Dragster, those guys were cool. The McPhillips team, I mean, like, those were some badass group of guys right there. And so I'm like, props to them. Like, that's some good racing. But I mean, other than that, we're a door car family. I mean, no one's really been farther than Top Dragster other than TJ. And well, now Uncle Mike will be top alcohol with the McPhillips next year. But yeah, no, door car is the way to go for us. And I've always wanted to be like my dad, so I felt this is the next best thing.
There you go. Sam, are you getting the smoothie down over there? Is everything okay? Oh, we gotta take a drink.
Well,
Paige,
look, I did it.
Drink.
Well, here it is. Cheers, everybody.
So if one of us doesn't unmute the mic in time, everybody got to take a drink. So yeah. So next time you're with us, bring a drink and you can get it in.
Yes.
I like it. I got my Propel. Handy.
Like I was saying, I'm in California, right? So one of the first stops is always Jamba Juice.
Oh, that's a good spot.
You know, see,
that's a good
spot.
But
Lee, have you? Okay, I just want to point a couple of things out here, Lee. The first thing she says she's doing is she's like, hell, Dad, let's build a door car. Like, she's got the lingo, she knows what she's doing, but then she goes after Justin Swanstrom, like one of the most up and coming guys in that, you know, field, in that class for sure. And she's like, you know what, let's take a crack at it. Like I said, seeing a firecracker, seeing someone that's like willing to go and do it which other way to do it? And especially at PRI, everyone's there, everyone's having a good time, having fun, you know, and yeah, some people may get upset about it, but it's the simple things, it's the little things that you're doing, like taking that crack at somebody, just letting them know, like, hey, if you guys are going to dish it out to me, you guys want to say what you want to say all over line, I'm coming right back at you.
Exactly. And you know, that's one thing my dad taught me as a young racer is just learning how to dish it out and take it back. You know, you got to have thick skin in this sport. And you know, when I worked for, well, I still work for Drag Illustrated, he was one of the first people I interviewed for my first story, and it was actually about no prep. And so we just maintained a friendship, and it helped me learn a little bit about no prep before I actually told him I was going no prep racing. And so he was helpful in that sense. So I was like, why not just give him a run for his money right here? And, you know, we're still friends. It's been friendly talk between the two of us. But yeah, those comments, I mean, he's got a strong fan base, and I give it to him. You know, he's worked hard, and that fan base really backs him up. And I've read those comments, and you know what, if they don't support me, and like, that's fine. And, you know, you got to learn, and not everyone's going to like you, especially in no prep. And you just got to learn to take it and then build your own fan base. I mean, that's the only way you got to do it.
Girl, don't you worry. Not everybody is going to like you. And if you ever put shades on, they're even going to like you less. Trust me. No. Look, you going in you taking this route, you going into this venture has opened up the question once again that Stan is proposing here. How come they won't let Stevie Fast race NPK and show the boys how it's done? So how does the process work? We have a very NHRA centric fan base here on this show, though they love all drag racing, sure. So what does it look like? Because we're not expecting you to be on the big broadcast next year. That's not how it works. Apparently is a process, and you can't just buy your way in.
Exactly. And that's how the class is designed, which I admire that to the fullest extent, because it's like, when you want to come race no prep, you have to race you got to race the future class. That's just how you establish yourself in that class. And you get recognized a little bit. You got to prove to the producers that you're worth the TV time. You're worth being on the invitational class lineup. You know, you're racing with the big guys out there, and they want what's good for TV. As Justin has said previously to me, it is a TV show first and a race second. So you could be a great racer and they might not ever call you up, or you could get called up and you haven't won first round or second round or whatever, but you have to be good on TV. So like, my process is like, focus on that future class, establish yourself as your own brand, and build that audience, and just get people recognizing you, get out there a little bit, and then keep going to those future races, because who knows how long it'll take you to get invited up. You could get invited the first race. You could get invited the next year. Who knows? It's not up to me. It's up to the producers and the teams present at those races. So it honestly makes it really cool. You know, you got to work for it. It's something that's earned. You can't buy your way in just because of who you are, your last name, how much money you're bringing to the table. None of that shit matters. It's how hard you work for it, and if you're good enough for the show.
Firecracker. I mean, the words, man, like, Lee, if you ever been at the starting line, I think she's going to do a great job down there. But then I saw this comment, and it's one of those controversy ones. Well, is she just going to be another Lizzy? When you see stuff like that, I know Lizzy personally. I've talked to her. You know, Lizzy is a great competitor. You know, she's well known, especially from the things that she's done on the track and from what her dad's done. But when you get compared to her, you know, how does that feel for you?
Well, let's see. You know, Pat Musi was another person I interviewed for my first story, and getting to talk to him was great. And I'm sure Lizzy is a great girl. I've never formally met her, and I would love to do that hopefully next year at some time. But being compared to Lizzy, you know, she's a great racer. You know, she's established herself. She's on the team, and she's part of the invitational list. I mean, those are all great things. But to me, it's like, it's a little bit younger. It's a different mindset. You know, I'm leaving the NHRA to come do something that's badass, completely opposite of my entire family. And people ask me if I'm crazy. And honestly, we probably are, because we're going to do this. And I'm defying the stigma of what the Coughlin family is. You know, it's pro stock, it's pro mod, what other pro class you could think of. I mean, we've probably raced it in the past. And I wanted to be different. And so, I mean, comparing myself to Lizzy, you know, there are aspects I can definitely see it. She's a great person to look up to, like great racer, give her props to that. But it's like, I want to bring something that's fresh. I want to bring something that's new and exciting. I want to give these guys a run for their money. And I just want to prove myself that I can be there, not only good for TV, but I know how to drive a damn race car.
I like it. I like it. There's going to be some fire from a young lady in No Prep Kings with the name Coughlin behind her.
Do it.
That's going to be very cool. It's going to be very cool. So I want to bring this comment up, and I want to then roll into the car. Jack Springer says, well, don't come rolling in with a huge blank Jegs trailer like a baller. Come in humble, 2 to 3 crew. Don't be an arrogant high roller. And I would say,
Pause.
Oh, here we go. Sam, go ahead.
Pause. She can do what she wants. It's her money. You can't tell her what to do. She can come in any way she wants. She can fly in on a damn jet, and she can fly in on a jet and land on a runway. I don't care. It's her money. Don't tell someone else what to do. Like, that's the problem. You have your opinion. That's fine. You can't tell her how to roll in. You ain't gonna tell Stevie Fast Jackson how to roll in if he comes in, are you? No. You wouldn't tell Lyle Barnett how to roll in, are you? No. Let her do what she wants to do. It's her program. Now, if you're funding it, then you have a say so. So
yeah, exactly. No, and I'm really grateful for the ability to be able to go and do this, because not everyone, especially at my age or any age at all, has the ability to have this car ready to go, testing, No Prep King racing in general. Like, yes, I am extremely grateful. Me and my family were very, very blessed. And it's all because my dad and his brothers and my grandfather, Jeg Sr., they worked their asses off to get to where they are. And you know what? Like, we do have a yellow and black trailer. I mean, that's just how it is. I mean, granted, I do drive to most of my races. If not in my own car, I ride with my crew chief, Justin Beaver, when we were in Super Comp, just because he's like, I call him my shining star, because he really is. And I like to keep it like that, because we're all equals. We're all here to work on this car. We're all here to better ourselves and our team. And I mean, that's the only way we can get better. Well, that's the only way we can run races, if we work together. We all know what we're doing, and then we learn from each other. And that's just the way it should be done. And I don't fly in on private jets, I mean, that would be pretty damn cool, in my opinion. That's a maybe someday thing. Maybe someday, not today and not anytime soon, but someday maybe.
I'm just saying, like, and then the next comment, Lee, I looked at it and I took it off the screen, but it's just like, dude, like, haters are gonna hate. And I'm just gonna say this, in the no prep world, if someone ain't hating, well, in life, someone's not hating on you, then you're not doing something right. See? So
well, doggone it, Sam, I must be doing something completely right. I know that much.
like, hey, I mean, I'm like, Lee, you got people hating on you because you wear glasses. You got this guy hating on you because, you're gonna have a Jegs trailer. Like, why? I mean, what does it matter? Like,
well, no, this is what it comes down to, Sam. This is what it comes down to. It's your last name. And I think one of the reasons why you're doing this is because you want to change the reputation with the last name. And I'm sure Paige wants to be Paige, not necessarily just Coughlin, and not let the stigma of all those years force you in a particular direction. I feel like that's what you're doing, little rebel of the family. You go, girl.
Thank you. That's one thing that's important to know when you go no prep racing, is like, that's your own brand. And that's something I'm starting to learn how to build. And I've never had to do this before. I've always been Coughlin. I've always been Jegs. And, all the cars look the same. We all wear the same, little outfits and everything. Like, it's all been the same. And it's awesome. Yes. But it's like, I wanted to do something different. So now it's like, we get to have our own t-shirts. We get to have a car with more than 2 colors on it. And I can express how I feel about things, and I have a little bit more leeway to be creative and unique, and it's really exciting to me, and I'm embracing it fully and just taking it one step at a time and learning and understanding my mistakes and then only bettering from them. But yeah, there's always going to be negative comments, and I've had that in NHRA. I had that in junior dragsters when I was racing a few years back when I was 14 years old. I mean, kids would come at you and like, you know what? It is what it is. I mean, am I grateful to be a Coughlin? Of course. Very, very blessed and very appreciative of everything that I've worked for and that my family has worked for. But it's time to be a little bit different. And the last names don't matter over there. You're all there to race. You all put your pants on the same way. Your jacket's on the same way. I mean, we're just there to race, racing for that money prize.
Speaking of racing, let's take a look at the car. Now, if I'm not mistaken, we're not looking at, is it a brand new car? I don't think it's a brand new car, or is it?
It's
What
not.
are we looking at?
It is not. It's it actually, Mike Reese has owned this car. Him and his wife has raced this in a variety of different classes, like small tire and such. And my dad has actually raced this car before, and this picture was the first time I had ever sat in it. And one thing that Mike's wife, Nicole, said to me that instantly stuck with me was like, this car was made for women to drive. And when I sat in it, I was like, she's damn comfortable, fit like a glove, felt right at home. You know, they were interested in where I sat, where everything was placed. You know, like, yes, it still has some work to do, but it's coming along really, really nice, and I'm really excited to drive this car. And you know, we're taking the time to make everything right, to make it comfortable, to make it safe, and to make it fast. And I think that's important. And a lot of the questions I've been getting: when are you testing? Where are you testing? And it's like answers. I don't really have those yet. You know, like I'm maybe by the end of January, maybe February. I mean, I don't know, but no, this car was Mike Reese's, and you know, he's also worked on my dad's pro mod team for years. He's like my other older brother. I mean, I grew up going to those races for as long as I can remember, but no, he's a great guy. He'll be tuning that car alongside of Justin Beaver, my other crew chief, and it's going to be so much fun. But that car is a beauty. It really is.
That's all you can ask for. So I guess another question for you is like, what, I guess, are you guys, like your team and everyone in your family, like, what are they all thinking when now this announcement's been made? You've been doing the interviews, you know, everything is starting to roll out. Is there like, okay, were you sure about this decision? Like, is there something we can do? Is there any like kind of backlash around the table? Is everyone 100% like, you know what, hey girl, do what you got to do, and we're going to be here to support you?
You know, when I released it, the first person I called as I was going to PRI was Jeg Sr. We call him Pappy at home. And I'm telling them this, and he goes, oh, well, that's neat. And I'm like, oh, gosh, please like it, because it's so different. And he seems super excited, not only from a racing standpoint, but being able to just continue our marketing strategies and just keep spreading the word of Jegs, you know, paint the world black and yellow, as we used to say. But I got nothing but positive feedback. Everyone seems so excited, you know, like that they were excited that it was different and that I was the one doing it. And they're like, you're going to have so much fun. And especially my brother, he was one of the first people that knew. And he was like, any way I can help, you let me know. And like, he's giving me all these pointers. We're talking about it. And he's helping me pick the paint schemes. And like, because those have been floating around everywhere. And I think I know which one we're going for, but I need to tally up the comments on social media. But, you know, and then Scott Woodruff, he's part of the family, but not the immediate family. You know, he's the Jegs family. He's been an tremendous help. Just helping, giving me pointers on the announcement, giving me pointers on captions, when to post, what to post, all that. And it's just been super helpful because this is all new to me. I mean, you know, I've never done something like this before. And, you know, he's been dealing with Uncle Jag and now Troy, my brother, for numbers of years. So it's been really nice to have someone kind of like walk me through it to help me start running, you know, but positive feedback all around.
So you mentioned positive feedback all around. We've got someone here, Foul Era J85. Hope I pronounce and put that together correctly. Says, Jegs employee here. I'm glad to see the company getting into something new. Will be great for the business.
Well,
so
thank you.
You've talked about that positive from, let's say, the ones that are intimate towards you, family, friends, but has that come out even at the company level, that there's a positive feel towards a move in a different direction, something fresh, something different?
So far, I mean, all I've gotten is positive feedback, you know, and I haven't been in the office as much as I usually do because of school. I got one more semester and then I'm going back. But I've been working there like summers in my winter class or winter terms for the past 3 years. And I mean, all my coworkers are great, and I consider them to be one big part of the Jegs family. And man, a lot of them have cheered me on through the races. Some even come to watch me race. All my ladies in accounting, they make my heart complete. They're one of the reasons I want to show up to work every day from 8 to 5. And but they've been so supportive. I remember stopping into work after our photo shoot, and just all the girls were so excited to see me. I of course told them before it was released, and they were like, "Oh my gosh, this is so exciting!" And they've been working there for years. I mean, they remember me when I was small, and so it's just exciting to see them, how excited they were for me, and watch me do something new, and kind of growing into the shoes a little bit, and of my dad. I got some major more growth to do, but it's exciting, having them behind me, and I can't wait to go back and work and keep sharing that with them. It's not possible without them, so that's for sure.
So I think the big question in the room is, Lee, and I think you've probably thought this: who is a better driver, you or Troy Coughlin Jr.? Like, who's gonna be the better driver? Like, who's gonna have the most smack to talk come Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, when we're all sitting around?
It's tough because he has a little bit more experience under his belt. I'd say we're 10 years apart, so I'll give him that. No, he's. I feel like he would kick my ass any day. I mean, we've raced one time, and I was 7 total. So that's what I've got. And the win light did come on. I mean, was his transmission broke? I mean, maybe, but we were 7. We were 7 total. That would have been a tough race. But no, he's such an accomplished driver. He's worked hard to get where he's at, and I mean, he's had to deal with the same shit about last name and being driving ability and all that kind of stuff. And he's really proved himself, I think. And he's been talking to me about like, hey, like, I know some of these comments they could either be discouraging or they could get you down in the dumps a little bit, but just keep trucking along. And I was like, he would know. I mean, he got some of that stuff from Top Fuel and Pro Stock. And I mean, no one's exactly like you said earlier, not everyone's going to like you. And so he's been a role model in that aspect for sure. And he's like my other ride or die. Like, if I go racing without him, it just feels empty. It feels weird. Like, there's no one to play. We played this game called Cup Pong. It's like the iPhone game, but in real life. And we set it up like half a table, and we use water, and we just play in between rounds, especially at the NHRA events, because you're waiting 4 hours between runs, sometimes more. But like, there's no one to do that with me. And I got Beaver, but it's like my brother too. So, I mean, he's got a lot more accomplishments under his belt, to say the least. He's kick-ass, and he's going to continue to do so. And I think his pro stock career is only going to go up from here. He's driven, he's passionate about the sport in that class, and he wants to win. And you can tell when you talk to him, you can see it in his eyes, and he's going to get there. I think the next year in 2022, he's really going to get there. He's going to prove it.
So, Paige, last question I've got for you, and I'll bring up the image with it. What's going on with all these different schemes? Can people pick? Is this possible options? What could we expect this car to look like when you do roll it out?
Well, this is where I wanted to start, and Scott Brown, the guy who helped us design these, did a fabulous job, as always. But from my sportsman roots, I really liked how he captured like a 90s super gas car. And that made me excited because it's like, I can't let go of my like sportsman roots, I could say. But between 1 through 4, I mean, those are all possible options. I've mentioned before that I have an Excel spreadsheet of every single comment from Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook on my accounts, and also the Jegs accounts, of what everyone has voted for. And then I want to run it to see which number was voted the most, because I care. And honestly, it's hard for me to pick because they're all so cool. And with the car being originally like that beautiful gold color, we had to paint over it because it's very hard paint match. But that's why we kind of picked up the name Golden Child, because it's gold. And then I kind of like my dad's like, oh, you could be like the Goldilocks with the golden child. And I was like, that's real cute, Dad. And but I love that color so much. So we might let it peek out here and there or add a little bit of gold. I love that color. But those are all possible options. And whichever one's voted the best, we might lean towards that. And it's not quite ready to be sent off to paint. So people keep commenting, keep going, because I'll just keep adding to that spreadsheet. I really want to know what people want.
There you go. And with the tough competition and everything, obviously Jegs is a big part of what you're doing and what you've got going on. But is there any other partnerships that you guys have going on, or anyone that you want to speak to? I mean, this is your platform, obviously, to do so, to promote yourself and get out there.
I've talked to a few people so far, and nothing is set in stone yet, so I don't want to quite give it away. But there's one girl that I've worked with before. Pistons and Peonies is the account. They are awesome. They support women in drag racing and racing in general. And I have loved, I had a sticker on my laptop to represent them, and I thought they were the coolest platform ever. So I'm excited for my shirt to come in the mail. I messaged her on Instagram today and I was like, I'm ordering a shirt right now and I'm wearing that at the races. You will see me on TV with that shirt on. And one other platform that I think is just funnier than hell is called 00 Shit Show. If anyone hasn't heard of it, y'all need to go check it out because it is so funny. And I said, I want a custom Jeg sticker or a 00 Shit Show sticker in the yellow and black and gray colors, or white, whichever one we pick. But I want that for my car. He's like, you got it. And I was like, that's amazing. He offered it up to me and I was like, I can't say no. That's amazing. I had one on my dragster, and that he's a great guy, the guy who runs it. And that's a funny account. He does a good job and really gets people talking. And so I'm hoping we'll get a Jeg sticker, or not a Jeg sticker, a 00 Shit Show sticker for the car next year, kind of represent 00 Shit Show.
I mean, you have to. Lee and I talked about it. Was it last? No, it was at PRI. We were talking about it. That, like you said, NHRA, and there's nothing against NHRA, but everything is so buttoned up. And then you have this whole nother racing scene and community that a lot of the NHRA drivers are fans of. And to have that platform where I think every social media person, every driver goes on there to see what they're going to post about that moment. We need that in drag racing. We need to see more of exactly what you're saying. People stepping out of what their mold is and stepping out of what their created image is. And I think for media, that page does a phenomenal job to say what we all are thinking in today's society.
It's funny, and every time I look at it, he posted one of me today, and I was thinking to myself, I was like, you know what, I've backed the wagon, Jaggy's wagon, out of the trailer. I've done that before. This won't be the first door car. And I was like, this is too funny. And I'll message him every now and then just saying, hey, good job. Keep it up. This is hilarious. But no, when you're more when you're letting yourself shine a little bit, your true self shine, it's just more authentic. It's more relatable. It's personable. And when I was growing up watching different racers and stuff, the ones that were more like that was easier to relate to. And as I've gotten older and gotten to know other racers better, it's I can tell the difference more. And everyone I've raced with has been, great. And I've enjoyed my time at NHRA, but there is a difference. They're the buttoned up, classy, professional. That is their image. And some people really, really like that. And, that's what my family has been for the past 60 years. And but today's different. And I think starting something different is always good too. It's diverse. We have our hands in a little bit of both. We have some NHRA. We have some no prep kings, and Cody's up doing some circle track stuff, which is great. And I like how authentic it is. You can be yourself, and no matter what anyone has to say about it, it's it doesn't matter, because you're just being yourself. You're not trying to be something else or act a certain way. You're just there to race. It doesn't matter. And I really, really liked that. It reminded me of bracket racing in a sense. You can go there and do whatever you want as long as you show up first round. And if you don't show up for first round, you got buyback. But that's what I liked about the bracket racing. And so I'm you know what, this is taking it a step further and really being ourselves and growing that brand that's no longer jegs. It's Paige Coughlin, and it's different and a step away, which is really exciting.
So, I mean, can we expect them like, streaks of different color dye in your hair and wearing the leathers instead of the polo? I mean, how far are we taking it, Paige?
Oh my gosh. Well, at PRI, I really changed it up. My one thing is I have been collecting vintage Jegs t-shirts for quite some time now, and
we see one right there
behind me. And I always have my vintage shirts on. So that's like one of my staples. I know it's still Jegs, but it's vintage, and it actually is going to look a lot like my helmet, which I'm really excited about. But I changed it up at PRI. I didn't wear a polo once. I wore leather every single day, and that's just more my style. It's the badass aesthetic, and that's what I like. That's how I dress normally. So why not dress like that at the racetrack? I mean, I never actually wore a polo. I mean, I was a super comp racer. I wore a Jegs t-shirt and shorts, but when we would do functions, I would dress up a little bit. But I'm glad we don't have to do polos. Those don't look right on me sometimes. But this is way more my vibe right here. Just the casual t-shirts, the leggings, something leather is always on me. But it's way more badass to me, and I embrace it to the fullest.
Very cool. Very cool.
That's what it's all about. Like I told Lee, Lee gets crap about his glasses. People saw him finally for the first time at the PRI DI after hours party with no glasses. And people were like, Lee, is that you?
I love glasses. I think those are iconic, and I really like them.
See?
I know.
Iconic. Look, Lee, she used the word iconic.
Hey, look, Sam, for the record, like, Alex Laughlin is out there wearing these now, and Kyle Koretsky.
You're a trendsetter.
Yeah, I was out there first. For the record, I was wearing these even before the Chiefs quarterback, whatever his name is, Patrick Mahomes. There we go. I'll do it for you.
The homeboy?
Thank you. Oakley, send me a check. Thank you.
There you go. That's how you do it. Exactly.
Hey, man. You saw what was it? Antron last week. Antron's got the stack of like never worn exclusive glasses. So Lee, till you get to that level, brother, I don't know.
I know. I'm not there yet for sure. Well, Paige, look, keep blazing your own trail. Definitely refreshing to hear the direction you're taking, and we'll definitely keep an eye out on you, and therefore the No Prep King scene. Thank you for coming on the Competition Plus Power Hour. We appreciate it.
Of course. Thank you all for having me. It's been an amazing honor to talk to y'all, and look forward to chatting soon.
Take care.
Yep. Let us know how you're doing. Keep in contact.
Will do for sure. All right. Bye.
All right. Bye. Man,
she's gonna be fun
we've
to
never.
watch.
Oh, dude, I'm telling you right now, she's already calling people out. She's got good connections. But I mean, dude, like right away, first things first, we got haters, man. Everybody, take a sip to that.
Well, man,
Lee, so much to talk about. We had to dive right into.
So
what do you got?
Later on in the show, folks, about 10 o'clock, we're going to have Rodger Brogden on. That's the schedule. Hopefully we stick to that. You never know, though. We might not stick to that. Sam, how about this? How about we take a break? We come back. I'll make sure everybody knows my news that I announced on the Texas Motorplex, and then we talk about some Dragon Illustrated after hours party.
Whatever you say, man. I mean, yeah.
Get your CompetitionPlus.com apparel today. Whether it's our nitro-burning funny car design or the vibrant door slammer design, we have the swag to show you are always in the know. Get yourself a hat too. And we know not everyone enjoys wearing a mask, but if you must wear one, at least wear a good-looking one. Check out the new CompetitionPlusApparel.com for the latest from the place where you have trusted for your news on the internet for over 2 decades.
All right, Sam. So I've had a few people ask after PRI, what was it that I was alluding to about an announcement for my year in 2022? I did share the news on the Texas Motorplex live stream. I believe it was on Thursday. Wesley Darter says it well here, though. Mr. Funny Car Chaos, congratulations. Now, let me say, Mr. Funny Car Chaos, that's obviously Chris Graves himself. But Chris Graves, the promoter of Funny Car Chaos, he came to me during the Fall Nationals, and he's like, man, look, I want you to be my pit reporter for Funny Car Chaos. And that also involves doing some filming, some editing for the YouTube channel. But I'm going to be the guy in the trenches getting those stories, getting the scoop, and putting it out there and trying to do some cool things for Funny Car Chaos in 2022. The intention is the full year of Funny Car Chaos, including Nitro Chaos. That's 11 total races under the Chaos banner, helping out that promotion as the pit reporter, like top end reporter, doing some promo type things. So guys, look for me on Flow Racing next year, doing some interviews, getting the word out about the chaos of Funny Car Chaos. I'm definitely looking forward to that. Love what Chris Graves is doing out there, Sam. What a great promotion he's got.
Hey, Lee, I got a question to answer here, I guess.
You do?
Did you guys know? So I looked for this beer all around Minot, North Dakota. I even called about this beer. They don't sell this on anywhere pretty much but the East Coast. It is an East Coast beer only. So Lyle and I talked at PRI, and he's like, I'm like, man, did you bring some? And he's like, no. He's like, I can't even find any on the East Coast. So it's been made a plan that I'm going east this year, and I'm going to unfortunately have a long day with Lyle Barnett. So Yingling Beer, shout out to Yingling. If you want to become a sponsor here, or if you want to become a sponsor of Lyle Barnett, please do so, because I've got a 6-pack with my name on it.
There you go. There you go.
Sam, I'm a man of my word, Lee. I'm a man of my word. Hey, we got another question.
I give you that. Stan.
This is our time to catch up on drag racing news.
Stan, I will still be helping Doug as much as possible, though that will look completely different. 11 races. I will not be at the NHRA as much as I was last year, and I'm okay with that because as we just had a conversation with Paige, what does she say? What did she mention about the NHRA? Like button up? You know, I'm not a button up collar guy. I used to be. I'm done with it. I want to be me. I want to go do my thing. I want to have some fun. And let me tell you, you can have a whole lot of fun and enjoy a whole lot of drag racing over there at Funny Car Chaos. And you got guys that are like family. They appreciate one another, and they want to go out there and race hard against each other, but they want to have a good time while they do it. And it's just cool. Like Nitro Chaos, where else can you get top fuel altered, anything running nitro, including funny cars, all running against each other? Like, yes.
Hey, man. I'm happy for you. And you said you don't like buttons. I don't either. I like zippers. Hey, my buddy KJ that I'm probably going to link up with, I saw him down at PRI. He's up in LA area. Him and I are going to sit down and have a bite at the Flavor Table. That is my family restaurant in LA. So him and I are going to link up and definitely have a bite to eat. But he says they have that stuff in Vons. We don't have Vons up there, man. We've got well, it used to be called Miracle Mart, but it's actually called Marketplace and Walmart. So no Vons in my area, man.
Boom. There you go. There you go.
All right, Lee. So I think you got some info to talk about there at the DI party. Looks like there's a video that was uploaded. Maybe some pictures of some people that we saw. So, I mean, where do you want to start, brother? Where do you want to start?
I see the video. Yeah, you snuck that video up on me. I see that. Well, look, let's talk about interacting with some fans, though. Look, guys, we love interacting with you all. Here's PRI. Sam and look, it's really Sam that does the selfie thing. I'm terrible at selfies for whatever reason. I can handle a big camera, but selfies, I just can't do it. But we love talking to you guys. So make sure, come up, talk to us. And Sam, you didn't get the picture right on that one.
Man, I can't help it that people blink. Look, I say, look, guys, we're going to smile. Look at the camera. 1, 2, 3, cheese. Bada boom, bada bam. And that's what it's about. Like, you know, people always say, do you guys, when they see us, it's so cool. It's such a natural interaction, Lee. They're like, hey, like one guy was like, hey, Slam and Sam. And I'm like, so zoned out. I'm like, what's up? Like, and they're like, hey man, we watch the show, love the show. Or people come up to you and they're like, I know you. And you're like, you do? Like, sometimes I like to play it cool, and sometimes I'm like, you don't know me. You don't know who I am. My name is J.R. Todd. See, I'm wearing a hat.
Right. My name's, well, hey, I like to joke around with Justin Ashley. I can pass as Justin Ashley any day, so we can do that. We comment about that back and forth between each other.
I'm gonna drink to that one.
You go ahead and drink to that one, yes sir. Now let's get down into the juicy details. First of all, Drag Illustrated, thank you for putting on a great party. Club Envy. Yeah, it was a club. Like, I've never been in a club before. That place was clubbing. And eventually we got this picture later on that night. Look at me, no shades, no ball cap. Wes, to his credit, Wes was the only one that's like, he went like this, and then he went like this. He's like, you're not even wearing a cap. Like, you're full non-Monday Morning Racer.
Yeah, dude, you were... When I walked in and saw you, where I shouldn't say I walked in, when I walked down the stairs to the dance floor and I saw you standing there, I'm like, whoa, like, Lee, what is this? Who are you? Like, I was, if nothing else, I was expecting a ball cap. And you guys know me. I mean, you either get this, but 95% of the time, this is what you're going to get. And I always tell people, I don't smile. So that's kind of my go-to thing. But all in all, Lee, like, it was a great time. I'm so glad that you stopped us, in the midst of, having fun and enjoying the night to say, you know what, we have to capture this moment. Lee was honestly...
No. It was not. It was a picture.
Lee, I wasn't going to go there, but since you started it, Lee had a couple of drinks, you guys, and man, the guy actually has some moves. Like, I'm not one to record, especially when people are having fun. But it was awesome to get to connect with people. I'm drawing a blank right now with who we were with. Who were we with, Lee? Lee. Who were we with though before?
Okay, so I was at least when I was out there, I was dancing with Krista Baldwin.
Krista Baldwin was there.
Sarah Slaughter, John Force Racing PR.
Yep. Travis
Schumacher.
Yep.
And yourself.
Yes. But no, the group that you were sitting with, that was like right at that VIP table.
Oh, yes. Thank you to Rob Honeycutt. Rob Honeycutt, pro mod drag racer in the PDRA. Also longtime motorcycle drag racer known as Superman. Thank you for treating me so well that night and hanging out.
Both of us. Yes,
both. Yes.
Yeah, he definitely. I mean, and that's the thing. That's the cool thing about this. Like, this was your first PRI, and you got to experience it. But everyone's in that mindset. No one's the hustle and bustle of racing's over. Everyone's either there to make a deal. I saw Caleb Cox wrote this on his Facebook. This is the show of I think I've got a deal or I've got a potential deal lined up. So it's always great to see that and have that, but PRI is just a totally different thing for everybody. I mean, the mood, the atmosphere, but then Thursday night, as Wes Bucks would say, right now, I'm actually getting goosebumps right now, Lee, I'm getting goosebumps talking about this, but the atmosphere was like no other, and we were going to burn Indy down. Indy would never be the same after the DI party.
I agree. And you definitely were going to play a part in it.
Lee, play that back. Play that back.
One more time.
Yeah, that's right. What a good time, man. Like,
it was great.
Like I said, everybody, they see us on the camera. They see us, I guess, being non-traditional but professional at the same time. And that party is all about letting your hair down for say, taking off your glasses, taking off your hat, and just being who you truly are and understanding, like, you know what, like, this is the last event of the race season for us. You know what I mean? Like, I told you that as my flight delays happened, but I texted you on Saturday morning. I said, have fun at the last the last event on the last day of the 2021 racing season.
Yes, Drag Racing Central, this is content that you didn't know that you needed, but it's out there now for sure. Yes, Hot Rod Dave, he definitely was cutting a rug, and we're still looking for video proof of me dancing.
No, man, like that's my claim to fame. I will not, like, I don't do that, Lee. You said, hey, I'm recording, and I said, who cares? Like, I don't care. You know, it's great content, but I will be coming out with a hopeful video here soon of 2022 dance moves for any drag racer, or how to dance as a drag racer. I think that's
how to slam it on the dance floor.
I think that needs to happen, Lee. Like, because there's so many.
It needs to happen.
There's so many of you guys.
Ladies and gentlemen, the very next day, Sam's like, "Man, I must have done something to my knee. My knee was hurting." And I was like, "Well, Sam, you were out there dancing, and you went low."
No lie, you guys. So my flight. So I was supposed to leave Friday. My flight got canceled. Lee picks me up from the airport, and I'm like, dude, my knee is killing me. Like, no lie, knee was hurting. Woke up the next morning. Lee was snoring like nobody's business in the room. I left. I don't even think he heard me leave. But you guys, my knee was so swollen the next day, because I think it was like a couple of songs after that song that Lee recorded me, they played Drop It Low or Pop It Like It's Hot or something. And I must have popped the knee, and it didn't go back in until I got home and had to ref a hockey game. I'm like, why is my knee still hurting? So yeah, you know, I'm getting old in this game. But
Sam, look, we're about 9 minutes away from bringing Rodger on, talking some NHRA Pro Stock. I want to definitely talk about his Nova. We got, big races next year. Before we do that, we've had a little bit of fun talking about PRI and having the fun at the party. PRI, from an announcement standpoint, which one were you most surprised by, or which one did you enjoy hearing the most? Look, I think we all kind of knew Ron Capps was going to be Ron Capps Motorsports. I've been saying racing. We kind of expected that, though. But, what were your thoughts?
So if you guys paid attention to the last interview, but if you go back, I asked a very specific question because we don't like asking these generic questions of what's going to happen. I asked Ron about his fire suit. I said, Ron, what goes into your fire suit? What goes into making this happen and the process? And he said, well, before we get all the sponsorships and we just do it. But this year I just have a little bit more involvement. So for me, that gave it away for me. If you go back and listen to it, you will hear him say that gave it away from it. But for me, and I want to see your reaction, Lee, on this, is Antron Brown bringing back Lucas Oil, in the nitro class. It's like, I think, and you can, I'm a fan of his. I love the work he does. Antron and I have a great relationship, but it's just one of those things where some of the pieces to the puzzle weren't connected before, and now he's doing that. And I really like it and enjoy it. Like, I like to see what's going to continue to happen with these smaller teams. I wouldn't say smaller teams, but with these teams doing what they want to do. And Drag Racing Central, finally, for once, we come together and agree on something.
Yeah, AB announcing Lucas Oil in whatever fashion shape we're going to see. That is very cool. Mikey mentions here Camry Caruso announcing a legend in Pro Stock, going to be her crew chief over there at Caruso Motorsports with Titan Racing Engines. And I think for me, when I look at PRI and I look at all the announcements, kind of expected Ron Capps to make the announcement in which he did. Bobby Bodie, though, probably one that no one is talking about because he had his interview so early in the morning. I didn't even make it there on time. And I'm texting Bobby, like, oh, dude, did you make it? Like, I didn't make it, but did you make it? And later on, I found out that he did make it. But he plans on to run like at least 2 to 3 more races than he did this year, which was 8 races. So that young man, 19 years of age, will be 20 next year, adding to the slots of races. And that means there's going to be more backup girls for him. And it's going to be interesting to see who he's got next year for that role as he continues to pick up backup girls.
Oh, for sure, Lee. And
yeah, I get away with that one.
And you know, and someone that I actually, and you had them on your show, but I got to catch up with, before the Drag Illustrated party, I got to catch up with Sarah Slaughter and Travis Schumacher. And I'm excited about his career, like that, like sitting down with him and talking and having, you know, supper with him, like just the things that, you know, he's excited about, the things that he wants to do and bring into the sport. I think the biggest thing that we neglect, and as drag racing fans and people, is the younger community, like yourself and myself. I think that we get pushed to the side a little bit. So I'm excited to see what's up and coming. You know, Camry's up and coming. Paige, obviously we talked about her. Even what Josh Hart has to do, you know, Justin Ashley, he's doing great things. Travis, like, I'm excited to see what this next generation of racers, and it's not really next generation because they've been involved in it so long. So let's see what the up and coming stars are going to do. And so that's what I'm most excited about.
I agree. I agree. It is. And I think, you know, in particular with Travis's story, if you get past some people blowing up on the homosexual narrative, if you will, and you actually just talk to Travis, he's a pretty cool dude. You know, he's a cool guy, and I like his story. He's got the pedigree, and the man just loves drag racing. He is passionate about drag racing. Like, that's the first time I've ever seen him not wearing like an old school drag racing tee at the Drag Illustrated party.
Did you see, like, and before, like I said, we're going to this next level, but before, you know, like, I got home and he posted a picture of their Christmas tree, and it's books with little funny cars stacked in there. And it's like, man, instead of going out and buy one, like, how to be creative. And, you know, people are going to say what they say about, you know, his personal preference in life. But I can tell you one thing. I sat down with him for, I think it was over 2 hours, and literally had, you know, like heart-to-heart conversations about life and drag racing. And if you're going to judge the man because of a personal choice, like, I don't agree with you. Like, it's his choice to live his life whichever way he wants to. He's not pushing it on anyone, and he's being a stand-up guy. And honestly, I made a lifelong friend, and someone that, if there's a chance for me to interview him on my podcast or tell a story about him and send a press release to anyone, I'm doing it, because I think his future is very, very bright in what we have.
So Drag Racing Central asked, why doesn't NHRA stream the press conferences? And if you look in the chat, there is some other discussion about what press conferences he's talking about. He's talking about the ones in particular right after the race. So Drag Racing Central, I will say this. If you're ever in the media center after these NHRA drag races, it's not like a cup race. What I mean by that, when a cup race is done, everybody's done. And like, they've gotten done with photos, they've gotten done with interviews, and it's their time to go to the press room. But I'll say, independent nature of class to class within drag racing, these people don't roll in right after one another or roll in all with one another. They tend to roll in, oh, here's our Pro Stock Motorcycle winner. They got done going and hanging out and taking photos. Oh, we'll wait 20 minutes. Oh, now here's our Top Fuel guy. And it's even out of that order at times. And I've seen Top Fuel come first. I've seen Pro Stock Motorcycle come first. I've seen, you know, Pro Stock come first, and it just be all out of order. Do I think they need to work on that and have that as another form of content? I completely agree. How that gets worked out, I am not sure. But yes, to have the people come, have their press conference, and it be there after the race, I think that needs to happen, just like it is with F1, NHRA. I mean, it's not NHRA, NASCAR, and many other motorsports. And I would say, too, even though Stan mentioned they were streaming the interviews with from PRI, I really felt like they should have been streaming on Facebook, not just a website, and more of them should have been also on Facebook, and you had that content all day going and forward. So, yeah, some things to work on there on the getting the news out and bringing everybody together, but more is better, and that's what we're definitely talking about. And speaking of more, we got to add one more to the show here, Sam, very soon.
Yeah,
Mr.
but
Rodger,
yes,
Brogdon.
For sure we're going to do that. But we had a great minute there with Glenn Cromwell, walking through PRI, and he says, he sees us, he notices us, and he says, hey guys, we like what you guys are doing. Yeah, some people may say some of the things you guys say are controversy, but it's good for our sport. At the end of the day, like there's good and then there's a controversy, but at the end of the day, guess what we're doing? We're talking drag racing. We're getting it out to one more person. We're getting it out to, someone sharing it and someone else is seeing it. So no matter what your opinion is, good, bad, or indifferent, there's always things that we can do better. I mean, today I like I said, I'm back home. Should this be my background? Probably not. But guess what? We're still doing what we need to do. Like, we have to. Here's another Westbrookism. We have to drive the needle forward. And if we're not beating to the sound of our own music, that's 2. I gave you 2 free ones right there, Wes. But if we're not, beating to the sound of our music, we can't complain. And at the end of the day, at the end of the night, we all love drag racing, and that's what we're here for, is to talk about drag racing. But Lee and I could yak it up all night about this. We're going to cut to a commercial break, and we'll be right back because we have Rodger on, and we're going to talk some great drag racing.
In the race for quality, there is no finish line. Jerry Bickle Race Cars is a one-stop chassis shop for drag racing performance parts and race components. For over 50 years, Jerry Bickle Race Cars has been an essential part of racers' plans for building world champion race cars. Our parts department is stocked with every part a racer might need. Log on to jerrybickle.com for more information. We build anything with doors. jerrybickle.com.
Rodger, man, welcome to the Competition Plus Power Hour.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Man, it's good to have you on. Look, I want to dive in because you have like the coolest sportsman car out there, period. Like, this thing is so cool. Talk to me. Why a wagon?
Well, there's a bunch of reasons. I wanted, bottom line is I wanted to build something different, something that no one else had. Back in the 70s, my dad and my uncle raced a super stock Chevy 2 4-door wagon. And I think it was super stock L automatic. And I actually got to drive that thing a couple of times. I said, I'm going to build something like that. And Jerry Haas ended up dragging one out from underneath a tree up there somewhere in the Missouri area. And about $250,000 later, here we are.
It is a beautiful, beautiful ride, man. And what class are you running in particular with it? I saw something like A altered automatic or something like that. So, dive into what this thing is actually running and break it down for us all.
It's running B altered automatic, which is a 500-inch Pro Stock engine with a 3-speed transmission behind it. Weighs 2450, which is 100 pounds faster than 100 pounds heavier than a Pro Stock car. And, right off, we've had a lot of issues with some different transmissions problems. If y'all watched it very much, that in the first few races, we didn't look too good. But the last race, we got it lined out pretty good and went 690 something on a terrible run on a 756 or 761 index, something like that. It's about 60, 6,500, and it's got a lot of potential. I really think it can run 670s before we're done with it.
That's a bad wagon, Sam.
It's pretty easy.
Man,
guys, I'm telling you, it's so much different than driving a Pro Stock car. You just turn the button loose and hold on. And I think I could eat a sandwich in that thing when I'm going down there. It's the easiest 200 mile an hour I ever went in my life. It's smooth, man. I'm telling you, it's nothing going on. I could watch a video or whatever. It's a hell of a hot rod.
Man, I'm just thinking, Lee, like I got a Fox body Mustang. And getting that thing down to 2,400 pounds, like I'm still thinking right now. But as you can see, the wheel tubs, everything that is in there is pretty much all carbon fiber on the inside, or is it just carbon fiber up
the
here?
actual top of it is it's going to be a lot, really kind of cool because it's got a steel top and a steel sides on it, just like the new FX class is going to have. And Jerry and his guys, Dan over there, did a hell of a job. It took over a year to build that car, because everything's one off. They had to buy the other wagon just to make a bunch of molds and stuff off it, stretch the front end. It's been chopped about 3 inches, narrowed 6 inches, and stretched about 10 inches. So it's a lot of fun to drive. I'm telling you, so easy.
Steel roof, steel quarters, right?
Yep.
So if he really wanted to, I mean, Lee, he could take that out and run against, Paige and everybody else in the no prep king circuit. I mean, depending on really what he wants to do. I mean, still rules, still quarters. I mean, it pertains to any class at that point.
Pretty much, yeah. But it, like I said, it's everything pro stock in it, except for it's the wheelbase is 2 inches longer than a pro stocker. It has a 3-speed automatic instead of a Liberty, but it runs the same tires, same shocks, same everything. And it's a 500-inch Chris McGahey motor in it, so I bought it right out of their trailer. I know Mason went to the semifinals with that engine that's in there a couple times this year, so I knew I was getting something really good. Plus, we took the fuel injection off, put carburetors on it, which still makes more power than a fuel injection.
So, it's a wagon. Does there happen to be any stigma still out there, even in this modern day, of people like, I got beat by a wagon?
Oh yeah, I'm gonna let them have it when they do. That's what some of the guys said. Go home and said, and your wife said, "Honey, how'd you do?" Well, I got outrun by a station wagon, so it's not gonna be something they're gonna brag about that much. But and we ran out of time. I was trying to get it so fast, but Jerry was actually going to build me like a little luggage rack for the top that was removable. We were going to put some surfboards on it, roll up to the stage, make a hit.
Yes.
We're still working on that idea. I think we'll do it sometime this year.
Yes.
How hilarious would that be?
Well, I wanted something different. That just makes it a little bit different.
That would. Call it the go fast rack. There you go.
Yeah, it's a hell of a car, guys. If you haven't seen it up close, you need to look at it first chance you get.
Well, Drag Racing Central, he brings this up. What does Rodger think about the factory experimental versus pro stock debate? We'll dive right off into it. So you did mention that you're going to be back for pro stock in 2022. So give us the details on that first.
Yes, for years I've been trying to get a full-time ride over there with KB Power, and either my schedule or they were too full or whatever. One time a few years ago I sold it in 19, but I owned I guess you'd call it a machine shop, but it wasn't normal. We did a lot of work for SpaceX and NASA, and we built some parts out of there that were you just have to see them and believe the tolerances. Some of the stuff had to be within 1/5000th of a human hair, but I was really tied up into that a lot when I was racing with Elite and had to miss a few races, but it turned out to be a learning experience for me, and I'm glad I did it. But did that year get back to the point where I couldn't do it with KB that year, even though they had an opening? I had to fly to SpaceX at least once a month and all that. So that was the closest I'd ever gotten to racing with the guys before. Last year I was able to run their car, I think 5 races last year, and I just told Greg I wanted to do it. I've always wanted to do it. If he had a spot for me, I'd like to run a full year with them guys. And fortunately for me, a spot came up.
All right, spot came up. Going to be in it. Very cool.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. So
what is that like getting that opportunity for you? You say it's fun, but in reality, like, you're getting an opportunity that a lot of people look forward to, or a lot of people wish they had, the chance to do. So, like, take a moment, I guess, to explain really what that's like to get this opportunity.
Well, I've done both sides of it. Back in, I think it was 14 or 15, 16, somewhere around there, we actually had our own shop. And boys, I'm telling you, it's a grind. You're starting from nothing and trying to get in there and do it. And we got lucky about a year into it. We won a race with our own engine, the Bristol race. But for me, I turned 60 years. When I turned 60 years old last year, I made a promise to myself I wasn't going to work hard no more. I've been working since I was 12. And I had got my roofing company, my construction company, to the point where, if I work over 5 hours a week, I'm probably getting in somebody's way. So I decided if something came up with those guys, I was going to do it. And everything just fell into place for me. This year, I'm going to run all the races. I think there's 18 or 19 pro stock races, and I'm going to run my wagon in about 15 races. So, yeah, I'm gonna be really, really busy, but I'm looking forward to it. I got nothing else to do. I don't play golf.
Yeah, golf is, I enjoy it, but I find myself more
Well,
frustrated
hey.
afterwards. I don't blame you for not doing it, man.
I'll play, but, when I play, I don't even keep score. It's not that important.
Yeah.
I don't care how many balls I lose or nothing. I'm out there just to have fun and drink beer and have a blast, and that's what I do.
Hey, that's a good way to enjoy golf. Yes.
Because I'm telling you, it's gonna be the most frustrating game on the planet. Because when I was younger, I played a lot. I played a lot. I played 36 holes a week at least. Okay, and that was a slow week, and I did that for about 5 years. I got to a certain point, I just like 5 handicap, and I couldn't get no better. Then that frustrated me. So then I didn't play it all for 10 years. Now I just go back there and rent me some clubs and knock it all over the place and just have a ball.
Yeah, man, it's amazing how a little white ball can frustrate your life so much.
And what's so stupid about the game is you finally get up to it, and you hit it down there, and you got to go catch it again. At least when I bowled, my ball came back to me.
Right, bingo. Hey, the best way I've ever heard golf described is anyone just go listen to Robin Williams on the creation of golf, and it's like, yep, that's it. That's must have been what the creation of it was like, just to frustrate us.
Well, that what it was for. They damn sure did it.
See, I like to play around. I get a pack of white balls because I know at least on the first 4 holes I'm going to lose those, and I just write messages on them like, "Hey, if you found this, at least I'm not the only one that sucks." Or and that way it's at least motivational to the next person.
You know what really gets me though? I hit a ball over the other fairway or something, and the guy said, "What kind of ball you hitting?" I said, "A white one." I don't know what kind it was, what number it was. Just, how about you tell me what you're hitting, and we can eliminate it right now, because I don't even keep up with it. It's not that important. But it's a good way to hang out with some friends, and I got a lot of customers that like to play golf, and they really like playing with me because they can beat me. So,
There you go.
You're not supposed to beat your customers playing golf anyway. It's just bad for business.
Yeah.
I wish I could make it a little closer, but I can't.
Well, look, Stan asks your thoughts on the burn down that happened in Topeka. Man, we're still talking about that. So from someone that's been doing it for a while, what is your thoughts on it?
I don't know if you see me on TV, but I was standing right behind Mason when it happened. Okay. I don't think I'll get in trouble. So I don't, a lot of times NHRA come to my pit area, they'll ask me a question. And I said, I'm going to give you my answer, but you can't print it. Okay. But I'll give it to you. But I think it was a bunch of bullshit. Even on the honest my own opinion. I can't believe they did that. It's terrible. They need it. That's good for the racing. They should have done that, backed them up, let them race at the end of the thing. No burnout, just stage and go. Then talk about it on the other end. That was a perfect opportunity to really let slide by. I don't know if you remember, about a few years ago, Shane and I had a little heated discussion at the end. And hell, people talked about that for 2 or 3 years. They still ask me about that. But I totally disagree with him. And in my opinion, if NHRA was honest about it, they'd wish they'd have done it differently too.
Ooh,
missed a great opportunity.
Sam, I think this one's being talked about in the boardroom at this point.
Yeah,
I'll get a visit or email. That's all. Hey, don't ask my opinion because you can't print it.
Hey, this is going to be the second GoFundMe account that I think we're.
Right, I have to say we need to start a GoFundMe for Rodger now.
Right now, a GoFundMe account. If I couldn't afford it, I wouldn't be doing it.
No, it's just it's for the fines that may roll out. We got one from Matt and Angie Smith. So
send them my way. I've done so much for NHRA without getting any credit for it. It makes me mad anyway. So.
Rodger's like, I want my rule change name in the book. Let me have it.
Hey, one time I had a little. Where were we at? We were somewhere, and I got called to the penalty box, and I went in there, and Graham Light was in there, and a bunch of fellas that were really big with badges and stuff, and we had a little issue with one of their rental worker. When they switched to that deal where they didn't take none of the NHRA staff with them. They tried to hire the local people, and we had a little situation about me trying to drive my golf cart through the staging lanes, and and one of the guys said, "I thought we were rid of Whit Bazemore." Oh well, so I mean, that's pretty good category to be put in there.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
I said, "It ain't my fault. You shouldn't hire these $3 an hour people to try to tell people what to do." Yeah.
Sam,
Oh,
I think I know the pit in Pro Stock I'm going to be going by next time for NHRA.
Oh, I'm letting you know, right? If
you want
there's
a
anything
honest
controversy,
come on by.
yeah. Yep.
Hey, I can say it on y'all show.
hey, we say anything here.
I'll say anything I want. It's just some of this. I don't know, guys. I don't know. It's just some of it is just very frustrating.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Well, let's bring up something that very well could be frustrating, or maybe it's liberating. The factory experimental class. You heard it announced. Your thoughts?
I've already.
You think it's going to go anywhere?
I've already ordered a car, so you know what my thoughts are.
Okay. Oh, yeah.
I called Jerry Haas the other day. Oh, it's been about a week ago. I said, Jerry, how many of them cars you got ordered? He goes, 7. I said, oh, God dang it. Okay. I'm number 8. Put me down. So I really think it's going to be popular, most especially if they have near the factory support they want everybody to think they do. I think it's going to be a lot of like the Pro Stock truck things. You know, to me, that was an awesome class. And, you know, I was way deep in that when the plug got pulled on that. And I think guys, I wouldn't be surprised if they had 30 or 40 cars at the first race of 2023, because I know for a fact that at least 15 are getting built right now, and it might be 20. And look, that's a little over a year from before the thing really supposed to take off. So it's going to be something. But some of the secondary parts of that is what I have trouble with, and I don't have no 100% knowledge that this is true, but supposedly that's the way they're trying to get electric cars into racing. They end up taking those motors out and put an electric motor in front of that Liberty 5-speed. You got to be kidding.
That is the thought process.
That's what I heard. I was like,
Here we go.
I'll be out of that.
I'm going to ask the question then, since you're very open and honest. What do you think about these electric cars?
Like, it's a bunch of crap. Electric cars are for old ass people that just want to drive up and plug their car in and go to Walmart on the weekends. I don't think that has a place for them in drag race. But I'm old school, man. I've been doing this since I used to go to when I was 6 years old. I got pictures of me, not even up to his waist, holding his hand. That's been my whole life for the last 50 years, and what's that? It's an old saying. It's hard to teach an old dog new tricks. I don't give a damn about none of them, Yeah, it's impressive what they do, but this is drag racing, man. This is engines. This is guys out there getting their hands dirty, not plugging the shit in and going out to run the next round. That's
Sam, remember, we're talking to a man that took a grocery getter and made it into a high performance, powered machine.
That's what I'm saying. Like, so you're going to KB, you're doing this.
Yeah.
Don't you think Pro Stock just needs to go back to the carburetor then? I mean, you said you're yanking fuel injection off everything. They
need to do something. No, I'm not a motor guy. I'll never pretend to be something I'm not. But guys, I went 215 miles an hour, 649 in like 2015. So they need to do something to speed the cars up. I don't know what the answer is. I'm not an engine builder, but I really think they need to go faster. I think and they're gonna have to do something. But like I said, I'm not an engine guy. But I tell you what, everybody I talk to in the Pro Stock pit agrees with me. It needs to go faster. Now, ain't none of them agree on how to do it. Okay, Pro Stock ain't changed that much. Okay, 'cause it's hard to get them guys to agree on, doing something at 12 o'clock, because that's not a good idea, because he came up with it. We're going to do it at 11:30. No, that ain't going to work either, because he came up with it. I mean, it's still a lot of that headbutting out there, but I will give him a lot of credit. And a lot of it was most of it was probably Richard Freeman's deal about getting the rules changed just to run any kind of engine in any kind of car. I think that's one of the best things for the class that's come along in a long time. Most especially because they killed the Dodges when they took the RPMs away from them. And there were some good guys out there that raced Dodges. You got to turn back then. You had to turn them Dodges 12,000 RPMs to make any torque, so they could go fast. And I really, man, I'm getting all kinds of trouble. But I really think NHRA needs to get more input from the racers. I know they get input from a select group of racers, but they need to get it from some guys that that's been around the sport a long time and have done it. In my opinion, I run the most successful roofing company in the state of Texas. Okay, we do way over $50 million a year in business off of just roofs. Okay, and I always listen to my customers. I always listen to the people who work for me. All ideas aren't good ideas. Okay, and everybody knows that. But you can't just be closed-minded to different people's thoughts, because they might hit on something there that you might say, hey, that makes a lot of sense. Maybe we need to try that. It's made me successful.
Well, we're looking at a future landscape of NHRA drag racing with the door cars that we are going to have factory experimental. We're going to have factory showdown. We're going to have pro stock. Now, heck, I'll even throw in pro mod there while I'm at it. Can all of these exist and function on the same track? I mean, who's gonna pass away? Who's gonna get left out? Is what I'm saying.
Well, I think all four of those classes ain't gonna make it. Okay, they're not gonna, because you're gonna have a lot of guys that are in that whatever they call that class now. They're gonna jump to the FX classes. I already know of a lot of guys doing that, and if they don't, same thing as before. If they don't control the cost, however they decide to do it, the guys with the most money are going to rule the class. Like I said, I really think they're going to start off with 30 or 40 cars maybe in the first race in 2023, however many they decide to run them at. And 2 years later, if they don't watch it, it's going to be down to barely having a full field. It happens all the time. But NHRA's got, I'm not here to bash NHRA, let me say that first. But they got issues, with their fuel classes. That's what they need to be concerned with. I don't know what they can do with that either, because I'm not in the daily decision making. But they need to pay more money. I got a deal down here in Division 4 where we race for our competition eliminator guys, and I've almost got it completely done. And hell, guys, we're going to pay $100,000 to win the Division 4 competition eliminator championship. $50,000 runner up. The next 4 or 5 spots are like $25,000 a piece. And if you finish in the top 10, you get $10,000. And that's Division 4 sportsman race. Okay. All you got to do is work towards that. I don't know. No, I can't say that either. But what time?
I think we need, honestly, Lee, I think we need to have.
Yeah, they're still up in California. I can't. We need a later show.
Lee, I think we need to have like a monthly, like, what does Rodger think of this?
Yeah. What does Rodger think?
Like at the end of the month, we just need to ask, like, hey, we're reviewing this, and this. What does Rodger think?
I'll give you my opinion for what it's worth, but everybody, sort of like that other thing, everybody's got one.
No, Bobby, when he said, hey, we're going to have Rodger on the show tonight, he did mention to me, talk about that comp eliminator deal with big, man, he just said big money. I didn't know how big it was, and that's a lot of money.
Well, last year we did one. I spent $300,000 out of my own pocket to sponsor all the Division 4 racers. And Cody Ling won our comp deal last year, and he wins $50,000 for the D4 competition eliminator championship. Okay, it's unheard of. Okay, I changed it up a little bit this year, so we're going to actually have our own point system for our program. It still comes off of what kind of points you get from the race. Okay, we're not going to change the way you get points. We're going to change the way they're counted. We have 6 Division 4 races, Lucas Oil races, and 2 national meets in our division. So basically, out of the 8 races, you are required to run 6, and your best 6 out of the 8 count. The requirement to run the races is what's good for the class, because it makes people show up. It makes them work a little harder to get that car ready this week, because if they miss this race and earn 3rd or 4th place, by not spending X amount of time working on my hot rod this week might cost me $25,000 or $50,000. And it's really, if you go back and look at the car count of last year compared to the years before, it's not even close. I think we had 50 something cars at the Dallas divisional, the double race, but we had over 20 or 25 cars at every race, which is unheard of. Because if you go back and look again this last year, some of the national meets didn't even have 20 cars. But they got to figure out a way to pay more money. Money makes the world go around, guys. In 1987, okay, I runnered up the Chief Auto Parts National in super stock in my Firebird super stock GTL automatic, I think it was. I won $12,000 in 1987 for runner up. everybody, you know, you can win $10,000 a year just by qualifying money. Okay. A lot of the money's went away. And Glenn and I had this conversation, which was more one-sided. Can you believe that or not? A few years ago, I told him, dude, you need, way before he was, you know, Mr. President, you got to wake up. You're not the only game in town anymore. No, drag racing has changed. Okay. These guys, it's a passion for them, just like it is with me. Okay. Yeah, we would do it if we probably didn't make no money. And I really have a hard time not believing that they don't play on the guys' emotions, but to go out there and spend $100,000 a year and only be able to win, you know, $8,000 or $10,000, you know, if you win 2 or 3 races, is ridiculous. But you know, I don't know how they run their company or what their thought process is, but I damn sure don't agree with a lot of it.
Well, yeah. So there we go, Sam. There we go. Rodger, thank you for the transparency and authenticity here tonight. Definitely looking forward to having you back in NHRA Pro Stock.
Just come by. I'll tell you what's on my mind. At least y'all can put me on the air. The other guys wanting, oh, I can't print that. I said, I tried to tell you that before you asked me the question.
Right. Like guys, I told you.
I really appreciate it, guys. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Rodger. Hey, we look forward to you having a great season and look forward to the D4 guys. Wow, I'm going to closely watch that battle, knowing about what's going to be happening.
It's going to be exciting. And we got a bunch of other little things we do at the track too. I don't know how much time you got, but you know, we have one deal where it's a WFO program, and Trey is our division director, and he let us come up with this idea where we actually during qualifying for competition eliminator, it's handicapped, just like you're racing. So it gives you a good feel on you know how you cut guys in and do this. But hell, if you after we have 3 rounds of qualifying, after round 1, the field is basically set with your first qualifying sheet. And then you're paired up against somebody the next 2 rounds. And if you win those 2 rounds, you take your furthest under the index, you add them both together, and the winner gets $1,000 and runner-up gets $500. And then we have another one, the second stage of it, I guess you call it a loser's bracket. You would get $500 and for being the winner of that, and $250. So, and the damn race only pays $1,200 a win, and you can win $1,000 in qualifying. So, now I'm sure.
Man. That's a good deal. That is a cool deal.
It's good. It's going to be good. Yeah.
Awesome.
$300,000 for the competition eliminator guys in D4 next year. Got a lot of great sponsors. More to come on that, and we're gonna give them all the exposure they can possibly imagine. A spot on there is $10,000 a piece, guys. If you want part of it, just email me. I'm easy to get a hold of.
I like how you throw that in there.
It's $100,000 out of my pocket before I, turn the pedal loose. So I'm doing my part. I gave up $300,000 last year, and I didn't really like all my lack of participation that happened. So I cut it back to $100,000 this year, and everybody always talks about it. So I told them it's time to put up or shut up.
That's right. Well, with you offering the money that you're offering, heck, we might see some Nitro Funny Cars try to enter D3 Eliminator or something.
D3's fine. I'm in D4.
D4, excuse me. Oh man. Well,
thank you very much. I appreciate your time.
Yeah, Rodger. Look, thank you for what you're doing for drag racing in particular there.
I love drag racing, guys.
And we look forward to seeing you.
I got to say, shout out to Wes Buck. That speech he gave at the 30 under 30 was incredible. He did a great job. He's got something good going there. I hope he keeps it up.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Rodger.
All right, guys. Thank y'all.
Man, he just mentioned, Lee, the 30 under 30, and that's crazy. He talked about that speech, but there was 7,000 nominees for that. Like, there was 7,000 individuals, maybe yourself, maybe myself, who knows, that were nominated for the 30 under 30. Unfortunately, yourself and myself, I'm 30. I'll be 31 here in
I'm too old. I'm 33, so I didn't make the cut. I need 40 under 40.
Under 40. Yeah, well, you know what? Maybe we'll have to start. Maybe you and I can start something, like that, and give to those guys that are, just crested over the hill,
Right.
not young enough for the DI, but old enough
ours
to
can't
still
be
cut
the
up.
ones that are like doing the most in the sport. We got to pick the people who are like just barely getting along or something. It's that type of award.
The most unique is what we should do.
Yes, the most unique. Yes.
Slam and Sam and the Monday
the
Morning
Outcast
Race
Awards.
Exactly.
We would like to recognize the outcasts of
the media industry, the guys that aren't giving up their shades for the black t-shirt and shaving their beards, as everyone tells you, right?
Right. Well, look, that was refreshing to have Rodger on. I've never talked with Rodger, never met Rodger. That was refreshing, very authentic, very transparent. We're definitely going to be on the docket with the NHRA meeting for this one. I know.
I mean, but you know what? Like Drag Racing Central said, I think you set it up in the comments here. Let's see if I can find it. Boom. Everyone's talking about we need more personality, and you and I have said it here, and we found a guy that's got a whole lot of it. And if you really want to know how someone feels, trust me, I'm guaranteeing there's going to be a lot more conversation and talk about this. But you know what? And Paige said it too. It's someone that people can relate to, and that's what it's all about, is being more relatable. Why do you think people relate to Antron Brown? Why do you think people relate to Justin Ashley? Because they're out there and they're showing you, like, who else is showing you that they're at Taekwondo wearing a gi like Antron Brown on his social media, right? Justin Ashley being at the Jets football game. Like, that's what it's all about, is connecting with people. And if you're relatable and you can do that and you can continue to do that, why not? Like, that, to me, that's what it's all about, and that's what it comes down to.
And with that being said, I think there has to be a concern. Sam, if I am the NHRA and I have heard this announcement from Paige Coughlin that I'm not going to participate regularly, I'll say, in NHRA bracket racing and move up that ladder to pro stock, fuel ranks, factory experimental to come, whatever it may be. I'm going to go no prep king racing. I would be concerned. Like, that would grieve me, be like, oh. I mean, that.
Well, yeah, you got to think about what JEGS means to NHRA racing. So as of right now, you brought up a good point, as of right now, if you look at that, the end of JEG's participation in NHRA racing as of right now is Troy Coughlin Jr. So if he decides in 2 years, hey, I'm done, what does that mean for JEGS? Because now Paige is going a different route. So, I mean, I don't want to say you want to secure the money, you don't want to secure the bag, but, knowing that you had Jeg, right? You had Troy Coughlin Jr. You were consistently basing on Paige going that route. Now that she's not, I mean, it definitely is a game changer.
I look at it this way, Sam. Drag racing, you look over it historically, it always had an edge compared to F1, compared to NASCAR, compared to almost any other motorsport. Go look back at the mid 60s and early 70s. There were some cool dudes in drag racing, and gals too. And there was always that bit of an edge. I think when we become too professional, drag racing loses its edge and we try to be like everyone else, we're going to lose out. Be different, be unique, have a flair, have an edge, be the cool kids. And, well, not everybody can be a part of the cool game.
Not everybody can, man, and only the few are welcome. But I still think we have the shot. I mean, we still have a lot of people that are doing it, and, it's crazy to sit back and, like, rehash everything that went down at PRI and everything that's going to happen next year. And like I said, I mean, we're I told you that on Saturday. So Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, we're 3 days. In reality, guys and girls, we are 3 days into the 2022 race season. I mean, the end of PRI, when they shut down at PRI, ends the calendar for drag racing for 2021 and starts the calendar for the new. I mean, I know there's a lot of racing, different races that are going to go on, but we've officially started the new calendar for it. And when we look back and when we continue to look forward, it's like, what can we do different? How can we stand out this year? How can I mean, my goal for 2021 is to make enough YouTube videos I mean, 2022 is to make enough YouTube videos, enough reels on Instagram to Sports Center sees one and is like, we got to use this. I mean, right now, Sports Center's top reel, I think as of today, was a guy that was coming out of his car and slipping on ice and running like it was on a treadmill. Why isn't drag racing involved in this conversation? You know, it was talked about at PRI. What can we do? Why wasn't the Stampede of Speed notified by, like, someone in Sports Center has got to live right down the road from there? I mean, they've got to have a consultant that, you know, should have seen that. Like, why are we not doing that? So the next step is, what can we do better? And if it's controversy, it's controversy. It's controversy sells. So, I mean, there's a lot going on. I know you're going to be at an event that I think is great for our sport. A bicycle, I shouldn't call it a bicycle, but a drag bike rider is putting on a different event. So, I mean, there's just so much going on that we have to talk about.
There is, and I feel like the sport is going in a positive direction, and it's just got to be maintained. It's got to be fostered. Everybody has got to realize, look, let's keep the momentum going. Let's not look to the past. Let's look to the future and keep moving forward on what is rolling, what is moving, the changes in the sport that are positive. So yeah, a lot to look forward to, man. I mean, Stan, he's asking testing for the Nitro guys. It's Phoenix, from everything I understand, and there's going to be a lot of eyeballs on that to see who's going to be performing well. Do you see anything automatically, with the Antron Brown, Justin Ashley connection and how they perform? And the PDRA continues to grow. Like, I love how they've got React 104 doing all these great videos for them. He puts together the best cinematic videos, I think, in drag racing that's out there. And the PDRA is utilizing that to tell a narrative and to captivate people, to bring an audience in, and hopefully a new audience. And I think that those things need to happen. I think of what Laura does with Brian Loans and opening up the Fox broadcast. We need more of that, and I'm hoping of even kind of bringing some of those things to Funny Car Chaos. And we got to step up our game everywhere in drag racing. Step up our game. And I would say this to you watching as a fan base: you got to step up your game. If you are commenting and if you want to change the sport, one way we can all change the sport is take someone to the track. Do it. 2022. Get them to the track.
Well, it's not even that. I mean, it starts before we even get to the track, Lee. If you see a post by the Monday Morning Racer, if you see a post by Competition Plus, if you see a post by Drag Illustrated, React 104, myself, anyone, share it. It's so simple. Even within the media industry, I think that's the one thing that we don't do enough. I mean, it's a click. If you like the picture, why don't share it? I share other people's stuff to my platforms. That's the only way we get our content out across the board. Like the limo guy at large. Share it. Like, go and subscribe to those YouTube channels, because the more that you do that, the more it helps the algorithm, and the more that it helps our algorithm, it gets out in front of more people. And that's the only way we continue to do this, is by sharing this content, telling people about it. And then, like you said, the final process is getting them out to a track. Once you get someone to the track, that changes everything.
It does.
A video like this, interviews, watching something, I can watch React 104 500 times. It's going to make me want to go to the track, but just making me want to go to the track is totally different, because I already want to do that. Now, if I can get someone else and bring someone else, that changes it.
Yes, I agree with you on that, man. Look, social media, it shocks me how many people do not understand the key word in it is social, and to be social, and that there is a share button. Hit the share button. I'm waiting to see. I did some interviews, did some promo recording. I'm waiting to see who's going to hit the share button. You basically got content served up on a silver platter. Will you hit the share button? It's going to be interesting.
it was
if you're a fan out
Lee,
there,
I thought it was.
share about it.
I thought it was a red platter because your beard's red, your shirt's red.
Yeah, tonight.
Hat's got red on it.
Definitely red tonight. Yeah, I got the red going. Except I didn't wear the red rubies tonight. I should have wore the red rubies. I don't got it connected up here. Man.
You need a stylist at this point. That's what I think you need.
I do.
You know, see, Lee, you need a stylist because see, I'm rocking the USA hockey, the red, white, and blue. The hat's blue with the red, white, and blue. I'm just saying, you know, like someone in your PR management team isn't working correctly.
Right.
Oh wait, Lee. You are your own PR management team. You are your own booking and scheduler person, right?
Right.
I mean, same here. Sorry.
Right.
I thought we were maybe flying in on a PJ and got a big jigs trailer that everyone's gonna hate on us about, like they do.
No, don't have that. Don't have that. No. But hey, you are the one wearing hockey stuff to a drag racing show. Like,
hey man, you got something to say about it? What you got to say? Come on, start the conversation. We can talk about anything on this show, Lee.
Who else?
Who else?
What college?
Who else?
What college game were you reffing? Who? Anybody we know?
This is no. It was Botno, in Botno, North Dakota versus Minot State. So.
Ooh, wow. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, women's hockey.
Okay, cool. Yeah, cool.
Imagine that after a 4-hour drive and a layover and everything else.
Hot Rod Dave, he chimes in. He says, I spent 3 days at the Snowbirds, plenty of that on my channel. I am bring my boys into sport and hope my channel will bring even more in. And look, Hot Rod Dave, continue to put the content out. One of the reasons I started my channel, Monday Morning Racer, was I wanted to have a community. I'd go to work and like nobody wanted to talk racing. They didn't get it. And I would share about racing. I'd try to talk about it. Just people, they did not understand. And I wanted to build a community around racing and around motorsports. So look, folks, you never know how you're going to bring them in. Drag Racing Central starting up his channel and putting some good content out there. Same thing. So look, get the news out there. I think 2022, we have got a good year all around for drag racing ahead of us. So, Sam, we don't know who we've got next week, if anybody, because we might do something a little different next week.
I think we need to talk about that, Lee, and I think we need to have at least a 5-minute conversation about this here on the live and let everyone decide. What do you think?
Yeah.
So I posted the comment earlier. We want to know you guys' favorite moments of the show for this year. That's one thing we want to know. Favorite guests and favorite moment. I think it's time that Lee and I kind of put together a recap of 2021 moments that were captured.
Right. Highlight reels from guests, from moments of conversation, or we could just have another guest and go that route. Whatever route. Y'all chime in, maybe even after the show, let us know what direction you would like to go. I'm sure we will definitely highlight Holly's best hits, probably, on that show.
The ducking and...
Yeah.
Hey, but my prediction came true, and I think there's more to that. There was a conversation that was had at PRI that I can't talk about, but just know I'm still sticking with my guns, even though the shadows may be still there. I was ducking and dodging some questions there, but for sure.
Hey, maybe we'll find... Maybe we'll find more content like that and have posted up.
Hey, maybe. I think that there's another for sure moment that needs to be talked about. Did you bring up
a Fletcher Cox comment? Did you just do that? Did I miss that?
I think this moment, Lee, for sure highlights the 2021.
It does. It does. Yeah, the Fletcher Cox comment.
Don't know what happened. Did we lose Lee?
We might have to.
Lee, we're losing you, Lee. Lee, Earth to Lee.
I'm here, Sam.
Lee. Earth to Lee.
I'm here.
Lee, are you still available? No, I think everyone we've lost Lee.
And guys, back. Don't know what happened there. Sam froze. I froze. Don't know what happened. We'll shut the show down. A lot of comments in here at the end. Get Kevin Kinsley. Hey, I talked to Kevin Kinsley there at PRI. Yeah, we need to have him on the show, or I'll have him on Between the Slicks or something like that. And something happened. Tech. You never know. Connections crossed. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching. This has been the Competition Plus Power Hour, right up to we lost some power. So until next time, each and every one of you, God bless and keep the pedal to the metal. For Slammin' Sam, Bobby Bennett, I'm the Monday Morning Racer, signing.
And we out.